very important day and a very important conversation. We welcome from the Ministry of Labor, Labor Inspector 2, Paula Achaibar. Paula joins me on the Zoom line. Great to have you, Mr. Achaibar, on the program for this very important day. It is the World Day Against Child Labor, and it's one that we take very serious, a most important conversation ahead. Great to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Most definitely. Let me just say before we get into our conversation, once the connection works out, we will be joined momentarily by McCandle Caesar, who is the Monitoring and Evaluation Coordinator at the Office of the Prime Minister, and also the Deputy Chairman of the National Steering Committee. So I recognize it's an important conversation, lots happening, but how is this, in terms of policy now, translating into action to ensure that children are not put into that particular space too early? Yes, it's important to understand business and have the kids out there being productive, but we're talking here child labor, where some children missing school, having to go out there and work to help out at home. Where are we in that conversation on a national level here in Trinidad and Tobago?
So on a national level, we do have the National Steering Committee for the Prevention and Elimination of Child Labor. Now, this committee was formed in 2019 and has been reconstituted in February of 2023. The committee basically comprises technical experts from government, from civil society, and from academia. And they have the responsibility for developing a national action plan to address child labor in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as a national child labor policy for the protection of children in Trinidad and Tobago.
What are the guidelines? What does the plan indicate in terms of the rollout? What's the age you're looking at? Because, I mean, for me, I did a little summer job. I was about probably 14, 15, summer job. You know, I got into that mood, felt good, was able to help out at home. Now, that was back in the day. It's a different time. What's the required age for someone to get, let's say, consent or permission to go out there and do something, as opposed to a child who is working, probably without that said consent?
Okay, so in Trinidad and Tobago, the legal age, for employment is 16. Basically, that means that it's illegal to employ persons under the age of 16. There are exceptions, however, Jason, working outside of the school hours, like on the Easter, the Christmas, or the July-August vacation. Also working in a family business, a family-run business, where the staff, there's only members of the family. That is acceptable. What we need to note, though, chores and stuff, that is there. Those are the exceptions to the rule. But in an employment relationship, if you employ persons under the age of 16 and this hampers with their schooling, their ability to go to school, or they have to balance school and work, then it becomes something that is illegal. There are laws that, sorry.
No, go ahead, because I want to hear about the laws that govern this.
Yes. So there are laws, national laws, which carry penalties for employers if they do employ persons under the age of 16, and that is a fine of $25,000 and 3 years imprisonment. For parents that condone child labor, they can be fined $5,000 if found guilty of doing so.
Let's say in an area where a young person in the particular area, in the village, they're a little hustlers to, let's say, wash a car, clean up a yard, they're under the age of 16, is that still something that will be in the realm of a illegal activity if we engage the youngster to come in and just help out?
Once it does not interfere with their ability to go to school or their ability for recreation, their ability to play, once it does not interfere with those things, then no, it's acceptable. So they may be cleaning up a yard or probably washing a car for some pocket money. That is acceptable. They may be doing it on weekends or after hours. That is acceptable. But once it doesn't affect the time that they're supposed to be in school, Monday to Friday from around 8 to 3, give or take, then no, it's not considered as child labor. It is considered as something that's productive for that young person.
So in that regard, who is the body, the arm of I would say, the national security structure, whether it be the TTPS, whether it be Children's Authority? I want to find out who is the person that really will be on the ground to literally do an investigation if they're able to see firsthand that a child is working during school hours. We have seen it sometimes on the highway, children out there in the middle of the cars, you know, with, I guess, parents or parent. on the hustle, on the grind, and people sometimes wonder, how come this child, big 9:30 on a Tuesday, in the Hudson out here working? How does that situation now, how do we put a kind of a pause or a stop on that particular situation? Or if we know of a child working under the age and they literally abandon school to go out there and work?
Good question. So the Labor Inspectorate Unit is the enforcement arm of the ministry with the responsibility for preventing and eliminating child labor. We do have currently an online survey that is ongoing on our website and all our social media platforms. So we do have a presence on all social media platforms. At this, on this website or during the survey, persons can log in and provide us with information as to what they observe, where they observe it, the times that they've observed it. Once we've received those reports, it comes now to the Labor Inspectorate Unit, where we would now go out there and conduct observations in the first instance and then further investigations. If cases of child labor are discovered, we do referrals to the Children's Authority, Child Protection Unit, Counter Trafficking Unit, if necessary. So we work closely with these agencies to ensure that we provide protection for our children.
Because I wonder sometimes the correlation between child labor and the dropout rates. You know, I'm sure you're aware of the numbers. We saw it via the primary school and the secondary school side of things. And it was, I mean, it went through the roof during COVID and even after COVID. And I wonder, for those children dropping out of school, what are they doing if they're just home, or if some of them are out there working? And are the parents held accountable if the parents, if it is discovered that the parents or parent or guardian put this child out there to work to help out?
Yes, the parents can be held accountable if it is that the children are not in school and are out there working. As I mentioned, in accordance with the law, once a parent condones that and has the child in a situation of child labor, there is a penalty of $5,000.
Oh, okay.
So yes.
So the 25,000, the 25,000 is for the employer, but there's a 5,000 charge for the parent.
For the parent, yes.
Okay.
And that is what the role of the steering committee is. As I mentioned, it's government agencies, civil society, and academia. So we do have representatives from the Children's Authority, from Childline, from the Ministry of Education, from the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services. We are working in conjunction with each other under the Ministry of Labor to ensure that if we do see these children in that situation of child labor and they're out of the schools, we can now have them reintegrated through the Ministry of Education back into the school system. Of course, there's social development in case they need access to grants, the parents need access to grants, as the case might be. So we do work closely with these agencies.
I would imagine that the formation of this committee would indicate that the wheels are turning to alleviate and to put an ease or a pause or a definite stop on this particular situation. Is it something that is really prevalent? What's the rating like when it comes to child labor in Trinidad and Tobago, let's say compared to some of our neighbors, probably in the region or other jurisdictions across the world?
Well,
is it like a problem here? Is it really problematic in Trinidad and Tobago at this point?
It is an issue, yes. Coming out of that survey that I mentioned, we did have approximately 75 reports of cases of child labor, which are currently being investigated by the officers of the Labor Inspectorate Unit. In relation to other countries now, child labor may not be as prevalent as, let's say, Brazil or India, but there are cases. Yes, we are seeing cases, and child labor it's a multi-dimensional issue. It's a human rights issue. It's an education issue, and we are working, yes, with the ILO as well. They're providing whatever technical assistance the committee may need in order to ensure that by 2025, the world can, or globally, we can eliminate child labor.
West Tobago in the conversation? Is it a problem also in Tobago?
Yes, it also is an issue in Tobago, probably not as prevalent as in Trinidad thus far, but as I mentioned, we still have information coming in. We do have a representative from the THA on that National Steering Committee. So yes, we have information. We have a lot planned, to get out there to sensitize parents, to sensitize the general public. This is just why we're doing this morning. Today is commemorated globally as World Day Against Child Labor.
Yeah.
And we're doing quite a bit of public awareness.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, today we would like to launch the jingle competition, a child labor jingle competition for secondary school children, so that they could participate in, creating a little jingle for us that will be used for the committee during the rest of the committee's life. Our theme is children have rights to stop child labor, stop child labor, stop child labor, stop child labor. And we are launching it today, in fact, and inviting officially the secondary school children to participate. We have wonderful prizes. We sponsored by the Children's Authority, by Youth Alive, and by Childline for our first, second, and third place winners.
Mr. Achaibar, I want to ask you, seeing that we having this frank and honest conversation, and all of us, we need to be a community and to look out for the children. What field, what particular endeavor, what job in terms of to keep our eyes and ears open, where do you see in terms of the data and the research, the children in that particular sector, that particular space working, so that we can know, okay, just keep our eyes out?
Okay, so we've had observations of children selling at the traffic lights, selling vegetables at the traffic lights. We've had some reports of persons cleaning windscreens at traffic lights as well. The agriculture sector, primarily, you would find our children are on the streets
working,
selling, sometimes with their parents, sometimes alone. And hence the reason why it's a concern, especially if they are alone and they're in between traffic trying to sell vegetables or water or anything like that. So we have seen them on the beach as well, on some of our beaches, fishing industry. They have been working in the retail sector as well, but as I mentioned, you would see that more on the vacation period where they're trying to earn pocket money when they're out of school. So we have seen them in different areas. So fishing, farming, agriculture, and of course, selling on the streets.
Yeah. I'll give you a chance to just give some closing remarks. It's a pity we couldn't get, I guess we had some little technical issues there with Macandal Caesar. Hopefully the next conversation we'll have him on, but I'll give you a chance to just leave us with some closing remarks.
Thank you, Jason. So what we want Trinidad and Tobago to remember is our tagline: children have rights to spot child labor, stop child labor. Feel free to go online and participate in our survey, giving us that information. Assist us by being our eyes and ears on the ground. So provide us with that information so we can go in and investigate, observe and investigate, and ensure that we can eliminate child labor. Of course, you can contact the ministry at 299-0300, option 3. That's our Port of Spain office. Our San Fernando office at 285-5133, option 4. You can, of course, reach us on all our social media platforms, on our website as well. And you could also contact the Children's Authority, Childline, and because we work closely with each other, the information will get to us.
Thank you so much. As per usual, important conversation, and thanks for the time and the clarity. And we will all, we all need to be on the same page, and all hands must be on deck to ensure that children get that opportunity to do just that, enjoy their childhood. I know sometimes, yes, some children are in some severe circumstances, but I think there must be a balance, and there must be that opportunity for a child to just do that, enjoy their childhood, just play, have a time, just be a child, yes, and not be burdened with that kind of responsibility too early. Thank you so much. Paula Achaibar, Labor Inspector 2 from the Ministry of Labor. All the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting scenario because, yes, there are children who they're able to, learn business and learn like family business and, the ins and outs. But it's important to be a child too, and we can have them out there working. And if you see something, say something. You heard it from Paula there. If you see something, say something, and let's try to get an end to child labor. Great day today, World Day Against Child Labor. Let me give you some details. After the break, we're getting ready for our animal shelter drive. It's the Paws of Hope drive, trying to get some